The Chicago Bulls might have gotten the biggest steal in the draft with Matas Buzelis, who throughout the summer league has shown off his unique set of physical tools, while also having a pretty developed skill set. Now standing at 6'10 with a 6'11 wingspan, Buzelis has the perfect build for the modern NBA. Obviously his size is going to be a major factor on both sides of the ball, but on top of his height and length, Buzelis also has really good mobility, being able to sprint out and fill lanes in transition, while also having the ability to attack into open space off the dribble. When playing downhill, Buzelis can cover a ton of ground with the ball. Watch him here sprint off his handoff and take one dribble below the arc. Then he's going to slice past this help defender by gathering the ball up and extending to the rim. Now one big element in Buzelis' game that has surprised me is going to be his body control. For having an overall slim build, Matas is a pretty stable driver, being able to attack through contact and carve out driving lines to the rim. With the ball in traffic, one of Buzelis' go-to moves has been this bump euro, where he both initiates contact with his inside shoulder and picks up off his inside foot, giving him 2 more steps to extend with. You'll see him here get the defense to open up by attacking hard to his right, to then again initiate contact with that shoulder, to bump the defense back all the way below the basket. Now so far in the summer league, Buzelis' numbers in the paint are nothing to write home about, but I do think his process of attacking and getting into finishes around the basket is really good. And once he gets accustomed to NBA size in the paint, I think he's going to be an elite deep paint scorer. He's already got plenty of size and athleticism, and he also has a really good feel of angles and footwork when playing with a head of steam. Watch him here in stride read this defender aggressively sprinting across his left side. So without skipping a beat, Buzelis is going to pick up into a left-right Euro step. And again, to some people this may seem like a pretty straightforward move, but this takes a crazy amount of timing and balance to pull off while attacking full speed. Another small detail that I love in Buzelis' paint scoring is his ball manipulation. When picking up and finishing through traffic, Matas always gathers the ball above his shoulders, which allows him to slice past gap defenders and draw fouls.
Buzelis, meanwhile,
on this play, notice how as soon as he gets into the paint and the defense collapses, Buzelis automatically brings the ball up, earning himself a trip to the free throw line. Now when extending out and looking at Buzelis' creation on the perimeter, the first thing that stands out to me is his ball handling. Off the bounce, Buzelis has a really sticky handle, and he's more than comfortable putting combos together. And that ball control allows Matas to really extend the ball outside of his frame to sell moves. Buzelis is also elite at using his eyes and body. Watch him here pull the ball out, then sit down and put his eyes up, selling the pull-up, which briefly lifts the defense out of his stance, giving Matas a driving angle to his left. And while coming downhill, Matas has the balance to slam the brakes by going between, to then cross back over towards the middle.
oh, this guy. Yes.
And again, like I said, Matas is going to have to get better at putting the ball through the hoop. But I like what he's creating off the dribble, and I think his combination of size, balance, and ball skills will make him a great scorer and creator down the road. Now when extending out and looking at Buzelis' scoring outside of the deep paint, I pretty much have nothing but positive things to say. First, Matas has pretty good touch with the short 8 to 10 foot runners, which are good looks for him if the defense collapses the paint. Notice on this play how the weak side slides across to take away the rim, so Buzelis is simply going to stop and rise up for this easy floater. Buzelis throughout the summer league has also been creating a lot in the mid-range. Statistically speaking, his numbers are pretty bad, but I still think he has the foundation to be a really effective in-between scorer. First, Buzelis has the ball control and physicality to effectively get to his spots. You'll see him here working off his ball screen. And notice how his man is aggressively trying to fight over. So in response, Buzelis is going to give a slight nudge with his off arm, giving himself plenty of airspace to rise up. I love this move here, where Buzelis is going to attack hard to his left, and when he gets this defender's hips to open up, Matas is going to slam the brakes by going between, to then create additional space by stepping back towards the baseline. Buzelis has also had some success targeting mismatches in the post, where he has the size and strength to protect the ball and easily get to these turnaround jumpers, and that high release point allows him to easily shoot over smaller defenders. Now, in his rookie year, I don't see Matas turning into a high volume in-between scorer, but I don't think it hurts for him to have these shots available in his back pocket. Now, when extending out and looking at Buzelis' three-point shooting, I think this is going to be his biggest area of improvement. So far in the Summer League, Buzelis is shooting below 22% from behind the line, and most of his looks have been pretty wide open. Now, I do think Buzelis statistically is a better shooter than what he's currently showing. He's got solid mechanics, and his form overall is pretty consistent. But to nitpick a few things, I do think Buzelis is a sluggish shooter off the catch. There's many times where he receives the ball with his feet not set, and he does have a pretty drastic dip before he brings the ball up into his shot. I think that slight delay into his jumper may be one of the reasons why his three-point shooting numbers are down. First, because generally speaking, the more movement a player has into their shot, the more room for error there is on the release. And that extra split second it takes for Matas to get his feet set and bring the ball up to his set point gives the defense more time to contest his shot. I would also like to see Buzelis improve his shot selection. There were many times in isolation or pick and roll where Matas elected to settle for a tough pull-up three instead of putting pressure on the rim. Take this play for example. With 5 seconds left on the shot clock, Matas has plenty of time and space to break down his man and put pressure on the rim, which like we went over, he for sure has the ability to do, but he instead elects to drop down into a combo and launch up a sidestep three to his right. Next year for Chicago, I don't see Buzelis taking a bunch of threes off the dribble. He's going to most likely be doing his damage playing downhill and putting pressure on the defense, or spacing the floor as a spot-up shooter. In the next couple of years, Buzelis may be able to develop into a high-level three-point shooter, but that's not going to be his initial role next year. Now the next thing we have to go over is Buzelis' defense. Obviously his size and length will offer an extra layer of resistance around the basket, but what's really impressed me is Matas' foot speed and strength when guarding the ball, being able to pick up well beyond the three and move his feet to stay in front, to then use that length to affect the shot in the paint. Watch him here close out to the ball on the perimeter, and from this spot, Buzelis has the control and balance to move his feet and cut off the offense's driving line. And again, from this spot, he's got plenty of reach to bother the shot. And because Buzelis is comfortable closing out and defending the ball in scrambles, he now has a license to sit deeper in gap and clog up the offensive space. And like we saw this past year in the playoffs, the best teams defensively have size and speed all over the court. And I think Buzelis fits that mold perfectly of being a tall, lengthy, and aggressive wing defender. And then on top of those physical tools, I also think Buzelis has a really good defensive IQ. He's great at reading plays and using his length to affect the ball. You'll see him here fight over this pin down screen, then reach all the way around to swipe the ball free. I love this play here, where Matas is casually jogging back in transition, and as the offense relaxes for a split second, Buzelis is going to quickly turn and poke the ball free. So coming into his rookie year, Matas Buzelis both has the ability to bring instant value to the Chicago Bulls, while also having the potential to be a really special player down the road. I think Matas already has some good qualities as an on-ball creator. Plus he also has the perfect build to effectively defend in the modern NBA. Going forward, his outside shooting is going to be the biggest thing he has to improve on. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments what you think of Buzelis' game. The Kid's here.